Hello, my friends, and welcome to America's Last Stand, or more or less what would be their last stand. Obviously, we've got the West Coast to go. So, noting that we have the West Coast to go, and there is some mountainous terrain there, we'll keep these Mountaineers, which I honestly didn't use them that effectively last time, but that was just how the situation developed. No real need to use veteran reinforcements for them. But they will have no utility in this fight because this flat terrain offers no protection for them whatsoever. I suppose there's this little mountainous area in the center, but it doesn't really provide much benefit for you. So the main issue here is that you have this major river just cutting right down the center here. And that means that the bridges are the only way forward. I do not believe that bridging units allow you to ford a major river. I'm not 100% sure on it. They might be able to get you across. I think the tank version allows it. Of course, my version of the game is the version I started the campaign on. I always lock the version of the game down when I do a campaign because in too many cases, and this happened in this game too, save games can break. Okay, there is a bridging unit. Okay, so we might have a possibility to bridge the river somewhere. The only thing is, the only real position that seems good to bridge is here. You know, this is too close to this city here. This terrain is poor. I mean, I suppose great for artillery, but poor for attacking with vehicles. Here might be a good position for bridging as well. Potentially. But this generally flat terrain means that tanks are finally going to really shine here. Right, so let's reinforce our units first so we know how much money we have to spend. We actually took reasonably little damage. The fighters took some pain, but that's to be expected. Right, so first things first. I have a half slot dude here. And I have 2 0 slot guys, one of which I think is on the it's either this vehicle or this vehicle. Okay, it's on the Tiger 2. Makes sense. This is my dude with cheap reinforcements and overwhelming attack. I'm trying to work out where my thief is. Okay, this is my thief here. I never really wanted to upgrade the Grand Theft unit on the grounds that it makes it less good of a thief. To make it too powerful makes it less good of a thief. Okay, so the first things first is, this is my 0 slot artillery. Has been since the start of the game. Now, I actually considered upgrading it to the Gustav, but you only actually get 10 units of strength. So, I'm not sure if it's really worth it. Oh man, the sound of rain. I don't know if I ever get used to the sound of rain. Right, let's make some easy choices here. I'm going to upgrade my my 88s to 12.8s. Actually, is it worth it? It's only 4 extra attack. It's not even worth it. Paying an extra core slot for that. Never mind. I would have considered it if they had more range. I wish I had 2 double support heroes. Let's unassign field repairs. Okay, flag killer, skilled support. Rapid fire. So, what we're going to do is we will convert our least experienced artillery to the railway gun. This is going to give us some serious stopping power, which we can use to blast our way through these. I can only presume, I don't know, but I can only presume that the enemy defenses are going to be all behind the river to try and stop you getting over the river. If I was trying to stop the German invasion of America, I would just abandon all of this. Literally. I would just evacuate this whole lot, and I would position all my forces along this river and try and hold them here. Now, obviously, they're not going to do that. They're probably going to have infantry and such here, but I would expect the main body of their forces to be back here somewhere. So, what I can do now, and what an expensive upgrade this was, is I can put field repairs on this. I hope that this counts as a vehicle. That would be my hope. In fact, who's got oh, I know who's got double fire. It's the old purifier tank. I don't think the purifier tank needs that much. I think it will still be a terrifying vehicle to deal with just 1.5. So I'm putting the field repairs guy on the railway gun so that if it gets damaged, hopefully I can just repair it. without losing strength. Okay, first aid. Cheap replacements, overrun. We haven't got steamroller on this yet. 5. Huh. It's like one day I'll get steamroller. I should have trained steamroller onto more of my my recons, but I got the steamroller guy quite late in the campaign. Also, one of my recons that did have steamroller got killed, so we can't forget that. I did lose a recon and I lost a an AA gun. Let's go with first aid on this guy. Mark them with a special colour so we know what's going on with them. Okay, so this is a low-grade plane here. Now I'm wondering if I can dial it up with the prototype. I actually have 10. 10? God damn that. This is one expensive plane in terms of core slots, but perhaps that's exactly what I want. Okay, so what we'll do is... This thing is only 7 core slots if I remember correctly. We just put that in storage temporarily. Oh right, our jet fighter. It's a least experienced unit, but it will be compensated for by the fact that it's a great unit. My experienced fighters will continue to perform well as they are. I'm wasting a lot of core slots on fighters, but I just genuinely believe that disabling the enemy air threat as quickly as possible is how you save money in this game. And once the enemy air threat is dealt with, you can use your own air force to apply pressure to the enemy. Right, let's get our reduced slots hero on here. Alright, that leaves us with 9 core slots to play around with. That leaves us with 2 core slots to play around with. What is the expense status of this? 3. I know strat bombers are not particularly core slot intense. Is the rain annoying anybody yet? Alright, I'm gonna reduce the strength of the thief tank. Doesn't seem necessary for it to be this strong. It's actually quite expensive core slots wise. kept it overstrengthed because it's a weaker tank, which I'm using for stealing. But basically, I wanted like a buffer of every time it steals something, it usually takes a couple of points of damage. So it just allows me to keep thieving for a bit longer without having to reinforce. I'm hoping that my tanks can get the work done here. Man, my tactical bombers have really done great work. And you can see that there are reasonable upgrades for them now as well. If I so wished. In fact, this plane is so much more resistant to being damaged by enemy fighters. I think it might be wise to make the change. So let's bring these boys down to 10 strength. So we can see here that for a slight increase in price, we're getting everything but naval attack, which is useless. But a vast, more than double improvement against enemy fighters, and some light improvement against enemy surface to air. Okay. Just remember with core slots, you know, you can have an army that's twice as big as this if you're not willing to overstrength. But I do like overstrength because it means you get more out of your heroes. Now, one thing that interests me is this unit does not have any support traits at all. Normally. But I can add counter battery to it. This is the hero that we just picked up recently. So now the railway gun will support against enemy artillery. And that is bad news for enemy artillery. With a range of 6, it's gonna supply me with devastating anti-artillery protection. It's basically just gonna invalidate enemy artillery. That's where that's at. Okay, so let's have a think about the actual deployment. So this area is not actually critical. We've got to take this. Basically, there's two things they want us to do here. They want us to go from here along this line and down, and then from here across. Thing is, I only have like 6 deployment slots here. That's not enough. In fact, they have... Oh wait, I've got the friggin... I got the railway gun selected. Yeah, so we can deploy armies in both areas, no problem. Okay. I go first, so might as well have the artillery on the front line. Let's get stuck in. I'm not sure how much relevance infantry are going to have on this map, since it's so open. But there are a number of cities from which I'm sure enemy infantry will need to be removed. I'm not going to deploy up here. I've got to go here and then up anyway, so there's no point in deploying up here. Unless it's to deploy artillery, but there is an enemy airport there, so maybe I'll deploy a scout car here just so I can have a look. Okay, thief tank up here. We'll have the flame purifier down here. Some heavy metal will be required down here. Some will be required up here. Let's get scouts in both areas. Railway gun. So, following the railways, we've got a pretty straight line down the middle of the map here. That seems to me to be the most useful position. Here you are really quite close to the bottom of the map. It doesn't feel to be that useful. Right, anti-aircraft. One to support each push. Right. Aircraft distribution. So I guess, since we don't know what's out there, we're gonna have to distribute our forces evenly here. Okay, what to do with our jet fighter? It doesn't strike me that either position is that great. However, there is an airport here, here, and here, and here. There's a lot of airports here. There's 1, 2, 3 here, but these two are right on the front line. I may be able to capture them immediately. Although the aircraft in question would probably rebase. One here, one here, one here. Just presume that every city has got an airport. So I would hazard a suggestion that we will take these two airports early, leaving just this one, and that mounting our anti-aircraft defense here will be easier, whereas the airports up here, here, and here are going to be harder to reach and more of a pain in the ass to deal with. So let's deploy our fighter up here. Okay, that leaves us with one infantry unit left. Let's deploy it here, and I'll move it into this close tile. It can block here, providing me with some coverage when we get mobilized. Okay. Not really changing my strategy here much. So these two combat groups. First turn, consolidate. Probably consolidate this one here. Consolidate this combat group basically on these cities. Depends on how well they're defended. Got to consolidate them so that we have adequate artillery protection for all units on the front line. Use the railway gun to destroy targets of opportunity. And adding counter battery to the railway gun is going to mean that we will be able to reach out and touch enemy artillery, which will be glorious. 30 turns. So, doing a calculation from my start position to the furthest objective. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. We actually need to be moving forward at a pace of roughly 1 or 2 tiles a turn, every turn, to win this. That's not an unreasonable pace. From here, 7, 8, 9, 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. Yeah, that's like 23 turns. A pace of about 1 hex per turn is fine. So we have time. We have time to play defensively in the opening rounds until we've smashed the US Air Force, whatever they've got. Of course, it's raining on the first turn, so they're gonna struggle. You know, it's raining on the first turn. If I take their airports, if I take these airports, I've never had the opportunity to do this before, but these 2 airports, if they have aircraft based there, and I capture them on this turn, they will crash at the start of the enemy turn, because they can't rebase because of the rain. That would be a horrible loss for the US forces if that were to occur. I mean, they've probably got nothing here. Maybe 1 fighter or something, I don't know. But just an evil thought in my head. If they do have aircraft based here and it's raining, if I can sweep in and take the airport on this turn, those aircraft are going to be sent to Earth without actually being able to do anything at all. Wouldn't that be fun? Right, that's it for deployment. So the general strategy is to consolidate a front line and push it across the river. The railway gun hopefully will be the tool I need to break these river positions and actually get across. This group has got less distance to go to get to the final objective, which is Austin, but they have less tools to break the river, so I presume that they're going to get bogged down here for a bit until I can smash my way across. So this will be my fast moving group, moving across and down, and this will be my more slower, methodical group, just pushing through slowly. I did put the glorious flame tank down here, so maybe I can bust my way across. We'll see. That is it for now. I hope you guys enjoyed this deployment episode, and will join me next time when we put the boot into America. Not long to go now.